Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I make scrapbooking process videos and also do live scrap and chats every month. I hope you enjoy my little corner of the big crafty world, and if you'd like to watch more, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell to always know when I have a new video. If you could also give me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Alright everyone, let's start scrapping!
Hi everyone, long time no video. Unfortunately, something happened. Some of you may know I did do a live at the end of April for my design team that I belong to, my little scrapbook store. And I did post on Instagram, Facebook, about what happened, kind of just a quick little post. But I wanted to share. So I'm going to chat at you for a little bit, and then I'm going to do a simple layout. So those of you who have been longtime followers know I originally had cancer, endometrial cancer, in 2010. They discovered last year, May 2020, that it had metastasized to my lungs. I had chemotherapy throughout 2020, and it got down low enough. They knew this was a cancer that I'm going to have to live with, but the idea was to do chemotherapy until it got there's like a marker you can test with a blood test, and it got low enough that my doctor felt I could go on hormone therapy, maintenance drugs, and keep it at that low level. Unbeknownst to everyone, to my oncologist, to me, to my family, whilst the cancer was in the pleura of my lungs and being treated, and I responded I had a lot of illness, nausea due to the chemotherapy, but my numbers went down very, not very good, very well. Trying to find the right word there. It went, so a normal person, the number for this marker is 35. Before I started chemo, mine was over 3,000. And then by the time I had my last chemo in November, it was at 70. So they felt that number was low enough that they would be able to maintain it with the immunotherapy drugs. So during that whole time, as I said, unbeknownst to anyone, I also had a brain tumor that had been growing in my brain, and they assume since the tumors in my lung had been growing. I wasn't really showing a ton of symptoms. There were some weird things that we thought maybe like an autoimmune disease had kicked in because of the chemotherapy, which can happen. But at the beginning of April, I started to have significant symptoms, and that were noticed by my housemate, that were noticed by my stepfather, that were noticed by my boss, to the point where I went into the hospital and I was mentally altered. And so they did a brain scan and they discovered I had a tumor. I've since found out that the tumor was the size of a tangerine, and I actually almost died. The medical, I go to a hospital in the central part of Connecticut. It was so bad that they actually had to transfer me to Yale because they didn't think they could get the whole tumor without paralyzing me. So it was very serious. Unfortunately, due to that, I ended up dropping a bunch of things. I mean, there wasn't anything I could do about it. I didn't have mental faculties in order to complete things. There was a YouTube hop I was supposed to participate in called YouTuber Liftathon, and there were some fabulous, fabulous artists involved in that, and I felt, now afterwards, I felt really bad. But there's actually, I have no memory of about April 7th through when I had surgery on April 16th. So There really was no way I was going to be scrapbooking. I did not scrapbook, but I was completely out of it. I feel bad. I kind of dropped Tisa's from our scrap bin. Like, once again, no, it's like, I'm not going to apologize. I had surgery, emergency surgery, but I also missed our my the collab I do with Kelly O'Black. It's a lot of K sounds, all real quick. And we actually already planned not to do one in June because Kelly is moving. So I've got a month off from that one. But I just wanted to say thank you for those of you who sent me messages asking, you know, if I'm okay. They haven't heard from me. I haven't posted a video. There was an absolute reason. The good thing is I have had a really great recovery. I'm having a little bit of physical therapy just because of a little weakness in my legs. But I am getting stronger every day. I have all my mental faculties back. I have completed all my post-surgery medications. I've had no complications. I had my post-op appointment yesterday and everything. She said everything looked really, really good. I will be having a little bit of radiation therapy, but there's almost nothing left, and they don't even know if what's left is tumor. But just to be on the safe side, I'm having, I think it's 3 to 5 sessions of radiation therapy, and then I will just have MRIs every couple of months to make sure everything is okay. So that is my long story. So I apologize for those of you who are like, dear God, woman, just scrapbook. So I thought what I'd do today is work with some newer product. I bought, I think it was in February or early March, 2 paper packs from Felicity Jane. This one is called Crystal. And I just thought it would be really cute to work with that. And then I just pulled some random things. I did pull these matching, they're called chipboard buttons from the Felicity Jane. This actually is from the Julia line, but I felt the black and white ones, of course, would work really well. I also pulled these labels from Freckled Fawn. I won't be doing any journaling. I'm going to let my housemate do the journaling. This is actually a photo of her mother. I thought since it's Mother's Day weekend, I would do something, and I wasn't, I'm not ready to scrapbook my mother yet. My mother passed away a few years ago, and I'm just not there. Sorry. But my housemate's mother actually lives in a nursing home not that far from where we live. She and her family have made the decision for her to go into hospice. So she's 91 and she's ready. So I thought I would go ahead and scrapbook about her. I also pulled these chipboard pieces from Freckled Fawn, some enamel dots from Freckled Fawn, and then these floral wood veneer pieces from Color Cast Design. Now, usually for wood veneer, I use liquid glue, but the Color Cast Design wood veneer is a very thin wood veneer, and I find it actually adheres better with the dry glue like ATG because the wet glue, the wood pieces get a little bendy. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and start working on this layout. Thank you once again for those of you who reached out, and both on Instagram and Facebook, and the ones who sent me messages through YouTube. I'm hoping now that the tumor is gone, I won't have the fatigue I was having before that I thought was just left over from something happening from chemotherapy. All right, let's get going. Okay, so as I mentioned, I have not worked with this Felicity Jane kit, so I'm going to go through all of the papers. I assumed I was going to use one of their two-toned cardstock style papers that they have. But then I saw this wood grain and went, oh, never mind, I'm going to use that. That's going to be my background piece. I'm also pulling out that large floral, that small green and white polka dot. And then I didn't want to use too much black and white because the photo was black and white, but I did like the heart paper, so I decided to go ahead and pull that and use it in a small amount. So I'm going to go ahead and get the branding strip off the wood grain paper. For those of you who want to know, the Caterpillar crop and also the larger version, the Caterpillar, they both come with a really bright light that helps you get the cut exactly where you need it, and it works fabulously. Now when I flip this paper, I see this tiny floral and I think, oh, that's really pretty too, and the background is the green, light shade of green, which brings in another color from the floral piece. Anyway, about the Caterpillar crop, I don't use it because I have two bright lights shining down so you can see my layout whilst I'm filming. And unfortunately, that light becomes useless. So if I'm scrapbooking and not filming, which is very rare to be honest, I use the light, but I can usually get it pretty close to where I get it correctly anyways, even not using the light. Now, I wanted some torn look to this paper, but I didn't want it to be super wonky because, I mean, obviously you don't know my roommate's mother. She's not a bohemian, super wonky type of lady, so it didn't make sense in my brain to have that type of layout be made. It's why it's not a mixed media layout. It doesn't fit her personality. So all I'm doing is creating a vertical strip of the 4 pieces of paper I've chosen to be my paper layers. Now, I like the way this looks. I'm just not sure where my placement of my paper 100% is going to be. Oh, I also decide that I want to matte my photo because of that strip of black and white hearts. I know it will bother me. It sounds goofy, but it would bother me to have the black and white up against the black and white. So I do a horrible job of cutting because I wasn't paying attention. And so I have to carefully pull the photo up and then reposition the photo correctly on the paper after adding a little bit more of ATG. And just so you guys know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I was in the hospital for a week, and when I got home, Xanthi had been mad at me because I was gone, but the entire time I was gone, she left my ATG alone. No, she didn't even touch it because I came home. I'm like, oh, wow, Xanthi didn't eat my ATG tape. Do you know the next day she ate my ATG tape and I had to refix it before I started this layout? Just wanted to share. So I decided what it needed was, once I finally decided where the vertical paper was going to go, I decided it needed some gold Heidi Swapp color shine as a background. So you're not going to see a lot of it because obviously I'm going to put the paper over it, but I just wanted something to create a horizontal element to the layout. Now I'm going to play around a bit to decide where my photo should go. Because she's looking directly at the camera, I don't necessarily have to worry about what direction she's looking in, but it can sometimes make it a little difficult for exact placement. Like, should it go higher or should it go lower? I finally decided pretty much in the center. Now, I'm using these stickers. They came with a Jen Hadfield collection. I think they're called Second, hang on, I have them right here actually. Second Avenue. That's what I thought they were called. And I've also pulled out the 3 wood veneer from Color Cast Design. Now, Color Cast Design is a company I order from when I'm running low on acrylics. And then I'll just add some wood veneer because I order wood veneer from other places all the time. So in the beginning, I mentioned that I decided only to use 2 of them. In the beginning, I was saying how I like to use dry glue versus wet glue. I did not realize she had switched to a self-adhesive wood veneer. Oh yeah, that title was very fiddly. But I'm glad I used it. Every moment matters is what it's called. And so this layout is, I know my housemate loved this photo of her mother, and I thought it would just be a nice, just kind of story about, where they're at right now. So I'm peeling the glue back off the wood veneer, and this particular one had like little pieces that needed to be poked out. So I'm just using my fine tip scissors that I recently got from Close to My Heart, and I am getting that down as well. I love the detail in her on the color cast wood veneer, but getting that back and off was not super easy, I will tell you. I do want to say there are no photographs, like close-up photographs at the end. I got a phone call right as I had finished this layout, and then something happened. I had to leave right away, and I didn't get to take a picture, and then I wanted to get this up this weekend, so I'm like, I don't want to pull it back out, take a picture, and just for the layout. But I will take a picture for Instagram at some point. I go ahead and pull out some of the chipboard words from Freckled Fawn. I end up pulling out Enjoy It, Lovely, and Memories. They had a lot of family ones, so I could pull out mother, grandmother, stuff like that, but that wasn't the vibe I was looking for this particular layout, and I wanted to keep everything soft, so I liked the idea of doing the white, pink, white. I was just trying to lighten them up a little bit. Keep the black and white with the soft colors look. So I also add, sorry, I had to plug my computer back in. I also add some of those chipboard buttons. I add the Love This under the title, and then I add the peachy smile. And I was so glad to find that because they did have smile in the Freckled Fawn, but it had an exclamation point, and I didn't love the smile, which seems more like for kids or a family picture than this type of picture. So I add that black and white heart, and it seems like it really draws your eye all the way down, but I'm actually going to be adding a black rimmed label up underneath the title and the Love This. And so now you see it's much more balanced. I've got the black in the upper left and then the black in the lower right. I'm almost done here, so I just want to thank you guys for those of you who stuck through the lots of ums and long story in the beginning, and for those of you who are still watching my videos, even though I have not been making videos, I do have a live coming up at the end of the month for my little scrapbook store. It's going to be on Wednesday the 26th at 5:30. I will put up a thing for that. I did bring out the Freckled Fawn enamel dots in chocolate brown, like a medium pink and a light pink, and the last thing I'm going to do is use Shimmer's Sweetheart in the upper left and lower right. Thank you guys for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. I am so happy to be back. All right, bye!